Strategy is an amazing thing. The work that I do, the immersion workshops, is a real sinking into waiting and moving correctly in the world. Most of us have to wait, and no one wants to wait. I mean, no one wants to wait. You know, in human design, there's this expression, love yourself. Well, not many people love themselves. Most people want to give love and receive love. It has to do always with the other, But the whole purpose of human design is about loving yourself. It has nothing to do with the other. Nothing to do with the other. Which is very beautiful. You know, it's one person at a time, transforming through the experiment. And it begins with the strategy. Forget about the authority and what makes the decision of yes and no. That's like way down the line. Nothing may come. So all you have is strategy. Waiting to be invited, waiting to respond, waiting to be initiated, kick-started in a way, and then the moon cycle. Waiting for existence to get behind you, to push you towards something, the manifestor. So these strategies that we have, most people don't live like that out there. I mean, it's really, it's the hardest thing I ever did in this life. And I did some pretty tough things searching for myself. You know, where you are doing zazen or vipassana, where you're in a 10-day retreat in silence and hardly eating anything and staring at a dot on the wall, and you're sitting cross-legged, and piece of cake compared to this. That's nothing compared to moving in your life. Because so much of what I did, and I know other people did, was they went and did something to try to discover who they are, or to find that silence within, or the peace within, or whatever, you know. And then you come out of a group, or you come out of something, and you're stuck in your life, and it's like how to take what you got and move forward. But strategy is something you take with you everywhere, everywhere. And when you really live according to your strategy, you know, I'm a generator. I don't go towards people. You know, if there's energy, I may go towards another generator. I may go towards a reflector. I may go towards a projector. I'll never go towards a manifestor. That's energetically not correct. And if people come towards me, they don't get in unless they ask me a yes/no question. Can I join you? Do you want to have a cup of coffee? And again, it needs to be energetically correct. It's not correct for projectors to come towards me. So this is the whole beginning is with your own strategy. And you know, I had so many mental concepts about love and respect, and so many spiritual teachings that I was trying to live my life by. To be compassionate, to be kind. These are all action, you know. To be kind to someone is, you know, you can think it's to move towards them, to offer your help or whatever. And what I got to see was, by waiting to respond, by just staying with my strategy, it was as if all my beliefs, one at a time, were being challenged, because the old pattern wanted me to do something that was not living by my strategy. And for me, I just knew that there was no choice. I had looked everywhere. I had looked under every rock, every stone, searching for I don't know what. Somewhere along the line it became enlightenment, and that became its own hell. But for me, when I had my reading with Ron, he gave me my strategy. It was like, wow, okay, I know I never waited, and I know I never made sounds, so I'm going to try. What I got to see is, for the first time, I was respecting myself. Really respecting myself. It had nothing to do with anyone else respecting me. I was respecting me. And it's the beautiful thing about strategy is it protects us. You know, we all live inside this aura, and that strategy protects us as we move through the world. So, you know, in that protection, I began to respect myself. It doesn't start with loving yourself. It's respecting yourself. It's the only way. Because you don't want the mind saying, well, I need to love myself. I just need to love myself. It's just another mind thing. It's respecting yourself. And it's not that the mind is telling you to respect yourself. Your strategy demands you respect yourself. This is, amazing. And I know for myself that I was so wishy-washy. People could just come in and talk, and you know, it was like, wow, but there's an energy field around me. And then there's this place inside that answers yes and no depending on this, not that, not on who's coming from outside, but on what's correct for this. What could be more respectful? I mean, that we honor this. And it begins with, it's so respectful to ourselves. And then the distortion of how we've lived starts to get cleaned. You know, that channel of the old-fashioned radios that, you know, they had dials, and in my generation, you'd move the dial and it would be like static and noise, and then you'd get right on the station, and it was beautiful music. Well, that's what the whole experiment is about, getting right on that station. And it does take 7 years to clean out the static, the distortion, the old patterns of behavior that didn't work. I mean, if we come to human design and we're in the experiment, we're in it because something wasn't working. I mean, you know, I knew I was still searching. I'm not searching anymore. So this strategy is the first step to respecting ourselves. And I don't know when it changed for me, that the respecting myself, this respect for myself, energetically in the body became loving myself, really loving myself. Not from here, but here, cellular loving of oneself. You know how wanting to find that person outside who will love us like that. Nobody can. Nobody can. Because it's our job to love ourselves like that. And when we have that love for ourselves, only then can we love another. We can't love another until we love ourselves, because the love of the other is more of a trade. I love you, will you love me back? You know, it's not this really the love for oneself, and then there's this openness to love for another. But it's not what the mind thinks is love. It's, you know, when it's correct, someone comes, you're with someone, you love yourself, and it's a vibration that's sent out. People feel it. They can feel you love yourself. They can feel that you're not needy, because the old way is so needy, wanting the outer respect, wanting the outer love. And it doesn't satisfy, it doesn't bring peace, it doesn't bring us the sweet taste of success, it doesn't bring us the wonder if you don't begin with loving yourself. And I don't know, you know, you can't just be there, you know, because there's all this stuff in us. There's so much, it was like shatterings. I had to go through so many shatterings, and you know, thank God that stopped, you know, once I got to the core of me. But there's still so much discovery, and that just adds to the joy of being alive. You know, you just discover more, and you discover more, and you discover more. But the alignment within is what moves me through my life. And what really tickled me was when I realized I liked me. Because loving yourself is one thing, you know, but I liked me. I liked to be with me. I had so much fun with myself. Very different than how I used to live. I really always was looking for the other to play with. I mean, not that I don't enjoy playing with people, but I don't need it. I don't need someone to love me. How can you need someone to love you if you love yourself? So this beautiful, wow, it's such a beautiful expression, love yourself in human design. Well, it can happen, not from here, but from living you, really living who you were born to be. You know, some of the other, I don't know what you would call them, expressions. It's no blame, no guilt. Human design is about no blame, no guilt. Because we get back to the essence of who we were born to be. No baby is born with guilt. No baby is born blaming another. These are learned patterns. These are learned ways to be because of the conditioning, because of our openness, because we haven't been moving in an energetic, correct way with the other. And love yourself is not about, you know, eating healthy food. It's not about making sure you exercise. That's all the outer stuff. You know, you may respond or say yes to those things, but it has nothing, that is not this. This is the loving of that baby that was born to live something. You get to love that baby because that baby was you. It's like giving birth to yourself. So it's an amazing place to be. And those of you who ever got emails from Ra, he would always sign them, love yourself. I hated when he signed it. I never said anything, but it was like, it's almost like a, but it was true. And I remember when he sent me an email and he wrote, rather than love yourself, I know you're loving yourself, Ra. And he never wrote love yourself again. Because once you get there, you're there. And it's such a way to live, to move through life loving yourself. And it's not like we don't need people in our lives. We're just not looking for the other to fulfill or to fill that not loving ourselves, that huge hole that not loving ourselves creates inside of us. Because how can we love ourselves when we haven't had a chance to live it? Ra used to say, he always met people who hated themselves. And it's not you. None of that. It's just the conditioning, the distortion. You're not on the signal that's going to play your beautiful music, your song. Because once that's played, love of yourself is there. It's just there. So, it didn't begin with loving myself. It began like everything that has transformed for me. It began with me shutting up. I stopped going towards. I stopped being the first one to talk and say hello. And even though I have a defined throat and I'm a generator with energy, I waited because I needed something drastic to break the old patterns. And through strategy, through that amazing strategy of waiting to respond, through having this inner authority that, through sound said yes and no, a respect started to grow in me, a respect for myself. And I noticed other people, strangers, started coming to me, asking me, can I join you? Can I sit here? Can I tell you a story? Nobody ever asked me, can I tell you a story? They would sit down and just start talking. This kind of respect, because the aura pulls it. When we're correct, who's ever meant to be in our life is pulled towards us. And then somewhere the respect flowered into loving myself. So it's like a flowering because you're flowering as yourself. So, okay, that's all I have.